All right. So we have Brandy and Katie from Nice Horse with us on Pure Country. Congratulations on being our iHeartRadio Featured Stars.
Thank you.
That's so exciting. And I love how you guys have the music that you've put out is so original to you, and Cowgirl is so fun. And it's like the next, I feel like, evolution of Nice Horse music. I don't know, the sound on this one is one of my favorites that I've heard before. Did you guys, is it weird releasing a song during this time?
Yes, it is. But I will say I'm so proud that this is the song that is being released now, because we've been playing it for a year now. And we recorded it, I want to say actually almost a year ago, and we were super anxious to get it out. But sometimes I think that's when you know that the universe is speaking, because it's the message in that song I think is so important right now, and maybe wouldn't have even had the same impact had we released it a year ago. But it is weird to not be able to be playing shows, to not be able to go to the radio stations, to not be able to come see you and give you a hug and say, thanks for making us your future star. So it is
hugs.
Yeah, like it is really weird because of the actual physical disconnect that we have with people. But at the same time, I think there's a reason why the song came out now. And so I believe that there is a reason why it's happening this way. Would you agree, Brandy?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think that we had ever expected when we had written this song. I mean, we, as you know, like even in our previous work, our new stuff does sound different than it did before. I know we've really evolved as a band, and with Tara McLeod in the band, who joined us a couple of years ago, this is really some of the first music that we've had with Tara really featured on it. And I know that that's changed our sound. Like as a band, when a new member comes in, everything sort of evolves. And so this is truly us. But we've always kind of spoken our minds and had strong opinions, and this song is no different, but it just seems like it's maybe the most timely.
Yeah, sure. And I think that's the one thing that is important with the band when you do have new members come in, is that you guys are evolving and growing and stuff, but you guys are still, I don't listen to your music and go, oh, that doesn't sound like Nice Horse at all. It's still you guys. It's just kind of a different, stage in Nice Horse's career. So I have to ask, so I've asked you this before, but for anybody who is just learning about Nice Horse for the first time, how did the name Nice Horse come to be Nice Horse?
Well, I will say, when we were on our Hawaii trip, songwriting together, which is how this band first started, we had bounced around a bunch of names because, we were just drinking Mai Tais on the beach, thinking of, whatever band names. But the one that really
none of
stuck...
them were appropriate.
Yeah, a list of those ones at some point.
Yeah, we'll tell you that later.
This was the only one that was PG enough for the radio, I suppose. But honestly, it was kind of a nod to my dad, who had always wanted me to do country music. And I was a classical musician for a long time. And then I moved into pop music. And every time he would always say, when are you going to do a country song? And so when I really went, because that's what I grew up with, and same with Katie. And when I came back to doing country music with Nice Horse, we thought we'd make it a nice nod to him, because he's the guy who, if you're driving down the road and there's a field of horses, he's going to be like, look at that horse. That's a nice horse.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't look at a horse and say, oh, that's a nice horse?
You can't not do it. It's impossible. You can't drive by that field.
Watch, next time you see a horse, Shannon, you're going to go, oh man, nice horse. And then you'll think of us.
Absolutely. Did either or any of you guys, did you grow up with horses?
Yeah. Randy and I both did.
So now when I go home, I'm going to be like, nice horse everywhere.
Yeah.
So Cowgirl, Jason Blaine wrote it, and then Brandy and Tara were co-writers on that. Have you guys worked with Jason Blaine before?
That was actually our very first co-write with Jason, and we have worked with Jason since. And in fact, there's another song that we've recorded that we will be releasing soon as well, that Jason wrote with us.
He's such a good writer.
Oh, amazing. And you know what? I have to say that he is also one of the most gracious writers in the writing room. And I think it's so important as a writer to be, to be that way and be open, especially as such a great writer. It's always such a nice treat to write with someone like that. And I will say, I give Jason a lot of credit because he walked into that room with us and he had done his homework. He knew that we were strong women and that we would probably want to write a strong song. But it took us a while to get the idea because we had kind of started in this place of every woman needs a cowboy. And the thing is that we don't really feel that way in Nice Horse. So by the end of the session, yeah.
I mean, I do love my cowboys, guys.
So do I. But I'm like, I always say to him, I'm like, I love you, but I choose to love you. I don't need.
That's exactly. It's a choice. It's not a need. And that's what we feel like too. And so it really ended up, after it took us a while to land where we did, but I feel so proud that we went from every woman needs a cowboy to every person can be a cowgirl. And to me that message is really special. And it wouldn't have gotten that way if it wasn't if Jason wasn't such a great writer to have in the room for something like that.
And kudos to Jason for channeling his inner cowgirl and also putting himself in those shoes.
Yeah. You know what? He's the total cowgirl. Jason is the total cowgirl.
He is. I love that. So part of the song you guys talk about, Reba and Aretha and Alanis and Shania. So who were you girls raised on as far as powerful women in not just country music, in music?
Patsy Cline for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, the Patsy was definitely for Katie. I will say I am definitely in love forever with Shania. When I was a little girl, I wrote her, after her first record, I wrote her a letter and sent it to her. And I got a handwritten letter back. And it was I was such a little nerd. I was just like, your songs, I had just moved to a different city, and she was, different small town, let's be honest. And I was like, I listen to your music and play your music to make me feel better. And she replied back and she's like, she's like, I had to move when I was younger too. It's tough. And I'm like,
do you still have that letter?
I totally do.
Hey, you better. Because I'm like, I did not end up singing, but I grew up singing Shania when I was a little kid. And I remember the first time I interviewed her on the CCMA red carpet, and they were like, Shania Twain's coming up. I was like, huh? I have nothing. In my mind, I prepared all these interview questions. They're gone. I've got no words. But she is one of those people that if she's your hero, they say don't meet your heroes. She's totally okay to meet your hero. So
man,
I
would have been so starstruck.
You need to post that Shania letter.
Totally. I will. And if I ever get to meet her in person, I will just have to write a letter in advance and I'll just hand it to her.
Or from now on, you should probably just keep that letter in your purse so that if you ever were to meet Shania, you could be like, I'm this girl.
That's a great idea. I think I'm going to do that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. So you guys have been figuring out ways like everybody else is of how to, make the most of this strange time we're in and how to connect with fans. And you've been doing some social series. You've done the Martini Minute and stuff like that. So has it been fun for you guys or challenging in ways of figuring out how to still engage with your fans as much as you can?
Yeah, it was challenging. Let's say challenging. I mean, I do love the things that we've come up with. Wine at 9 is what we've been doing in the mornings on Facebook. And that came out of trying to do something at night on Instagram, and Instagram was so backed up, you couldn't get on there, it was so busy. And so we switched it to Facebook 9 in the morning. And that was really fun. We're taking a little bit of a summer break from that right now, but it was definitely a really fun way for us to even just talk to each other, because none of us live in the same city, same province, nothing. We're spread out across this country. So it was a really nice way for us to see each other's faces and be like, no, you have to talk to me every Monday morning. And then the Martini Minute just came out of boredom between Krista and I. It started with one little thing, and then we just kept looking at our liquor cabinets and being like, there's more we can do. And so that one tends to be sporadic when one of us comes up with a new cocktail. But yeah, it's hard. I miss the girls a lot. And Brandy, I know you feel that way too. I know you miss me, so I'll say it for you.
I have to say it.
Okay, fine. I miss you.
And I miss us being able to play music together, and it makes it even harder when there are these various like online, sorry, that's my cat, online festivals, you know, and it's really hard for us to participate because there are 4 of us and we are not together and we can't be together. And so those things, it's hard, you know, and we just have to, like you said, just ride it out.
Yeah, the one thing I will say, my husband actually said this to me when this all started. He was like, this is the first time that every single person in the music industry is on a level playing field. Like Garth Brooks is doing Facebook live streams just like everybody else. So like it is unfortunate, but also kind of strange and cool at the same time, because it's like we all get to kind of find our own ways to be creative in this weird time we're in.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the things that I really found about, you know, us having to be purely online and find a new way of doing things in all of this was that we found new ways that to communicate with our fans that we had never really thought of before. And I mean, for us, we're 4 best friends and we love hanging out and we have a good time together, and we get to show that with, you know, doing Martini Minute and Wine at 9. We get to show that to our fans and share it with our fans like every week. And that's something that we hadn't really been doing on the same level before. Right. So, I mean, it's almost like you find these wonderful opportunities to share out of something that, you know, could be seen as, you know, kind of a bleak situation for everybody.
Yeah. For anyone who was not a fan of social media before, it's like, now's your chance to become a fan. So to get to know you guys a little bit better, obviously not all of the ladies in the band are here, but just maybe what would be your favorite song as a band to perform live, or one that you guys always go, oh, like that one is just always so much fun for us to play as a band? Oh,
it's Cowgirl.
Yeah.
I love playing that song live, and our live version actually really evolved, so it's a bit different from the recorded one. And it just, in my opinion, hits all the right spots, and the crowd reacts right when you were hoping that they would. They do every time, and the song hasn't even been released, but it was quickly becoming, when we played it, one of our very first times we ever played it, we were in Swift Current, because we play there a lot, and we played it live, and I think it's our second show ever playing it, and at the end of the night, they were asking for an encore, and somebody came up and they said, will you play that Cowgirl song again? And that, to me, I was like, well, I think maybe we have something here, guys, because they want to hear a song that they've never even heard before. So for me, that's my favorite song to play.
Yeah, that's awesome.
For me, I would have to say we do a song, and this is actually one of the first songs we ever wrote as a band together. It's a song called Tonight, and we go up when we play it on stage. We, like, Krista comes out from behind the drum kit. We all kind of get close and do this intimate acoustic thing. And it's kind of, it makes me feel grateful that we found each other in this band, put this band together every single time we get on stage at that moment. And there's so many times at that moment on stage when I get really choked up, because I mean, Katie and I have known each other for a long time, and we, through many different musical groups that we were not in together. And at one point, I mean, I was playing bass in Katie's band, and at another point, Katie was doing social media for my other project. We've always been connected, but we never got to do something together that was truly together like this. And it's just been, and I'm thankful for that every time we get on stage, and I love being reminded of that every time we play that song.
I can't wait to see you guys back on stage.
Us too.
We'll just scream about it until that becomes a reality. And last one, what is Nice Horse's pre-show band ritual that you guys always do that is appropriate that you can tell us about?
Nothing about this band is appropriate, Shannon. You know us. We haven't done it in a while, but we'd call it a pony ceremony, and we would just dance. We would dance to Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars. That was like our song in Hawaii all the time. And so we used to dance to that, but it seems like these days we have no time for a pre-show ritual. We're like running around and then bam, it's stage time. Do you find, Brandy? Like we haven't had one of our dance parties in a long time.
We haven't had a dance party in a long time, but I will say that often we will do a group vocal warm up together.
Yeah, which is important. That is important. Absolutely. But I will say, I think this time that you've had away from playing shows, you need to make sure to prioritize your pony dance before you go out on stage from now on, as my professional opinion.
No problem.
Well, and next time you come to a show, exactly, you are invited to the pony ceremony next time we play a show and you're there.
Because I have, in my day, had a few drinks and danced to Uptown Funk, so I feel like I could bring something to the
nice.
I think so.
Awesome. Well, thank you ladies so much for doing this. Congratulations. Again, Nice Horse is our iHeartRadio Future Star, and you can check out their song Cowgirl, and I hope I get to see you guys soon.
You too.